box off to get it out of the house. All right?
Get your box off.
But get this. You took the box off. You could put a, I don't know, about 30-inch, 32-inch flat panel monitor and just literally mount it to the top of this. It'd be beautiful. It'd be like the small version of what I've got, except not on the wall.
Right.
It'd be perfect. We're not going to do that, though.
So are you also responsible for moving this to that guy's house? Okay, well that's good.
But I've got to get it working, so it sucks. It sucks for me because I've got 0 time. As you can attest, since here I am. Going Amigos first again.
Yep.
I'm watching some snooker.
Oh man, have you seen Kim Justice's new
I haven't
video
seen
on
it
it?
yet. I saw a guest.
It's amazing to me because snooker is like, I mean, even it's not what it was, but I can't believe that this is the newest. This 2019 game is the first one since 2011.
Really?
Yeah.
That is strange, you know. Got some interesting feedback on our YouTube videos this week. Some real interesting feedback. One guy badmouthed our weight. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
We should talk about that.
With a battery that lasts.
Because it was just that I could show my weight loss wager.
Okay.
Which is what I did.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw my rebuttal.
I think I might have seen it. Where
wasn't
you're
too-
like, even trolls get weight. It was good. You were kinder than I would have been, which I would have just blocked him.
Well, if I were you, I'd be extremely pissed off. You've lost a bunch of weight. He said you were a bum too.
Well,
he grouped us together. No, he didn't specify.
Maybe he was just only talking about me.
He's like, look at these fat losers. No, I mean, clearly, he's a douche. But still, I'm trying to look at this new comment, but it's hard to do on the Fizz Zone.
Yeah.
Did you see this thing here about last week's game that Necrodon put up?
Yeah, it only sold 3 copies on the ST.
I mean, that's so suck. That's so sad.
Well, the ST was. I mean, the ST died a death long before the Amiga did.
It must have been Pirate of Mania over there. You got some good stuff for us this week, Bush?
Yeah. I got some good news.
Oh, good. Good news is good. Gosh. Geez, last week we did Star Glider. God, that seems like that's not what we did last week, is it?
No. Locomotion was last week.
Hasn't been updated.
I probably
That's what threw me, because I was like, what the hell? I didn't think we did that.
I probably didn't put the last episode up on everythingmedia.com.
Did you forget to put the MP3
all
up
of the audio stuff last week I just forgot to do. I was doing everything else, I was setting everything else up, and then I was out the door.
Where'd you go?
Where did I go last week after the podcast? I had somewhere to be. So
We always have somewhere to go, don't we? I'm the same way.
you know where I'm going right after the show?
I don't.
Ollie's Bargain Outlet. You ever go over there?
I've been to Ollie's, but why's the rush?
Weed Whacker. It's got one of those 20-volt lithium batteries.
Yeah.
$59.99, and I've got a 25% off coupon.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
I think I've got your old Weed Whacker.
You do.
And the battery is not too good.
Yeah, not too good.
Thank you, though.
You're welcome.
I've got 2 of those that people gave me that are garbage, and so I literally charge. Oh, seriously, I charge both batteries. I do half the backyard with one, or maybe a third. Then I come back and then the next day.
There you go.
No, it's horrible. It's a horrible way to do it. I want to get me an electric one. So I got that big long cord.
Eep is she's been doing the lawn care as of late. She's been working hard.
That must be.
She went over to Home Depot. She bought 100 bricks and put them up. I don't know if you saw them around the garden. Yeah.
So let me get this straight. She's working. She's doing her internet business. She's cooking. She's cleaning.
Yeah.
And she's also doing all the yard work. What are you bringing to the table here?
Well, I bring the laying around.
I've been giving that away.
Sometimes I feel like there's not enough of that, in this day and age.
Did you read the newest DK?
Terry says she says she's also the previous owner of one of your weed whackers. So
Now, we have heard what I heard.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Terry, I do see you out working. Hey, free lunch. And much like Boat's woman, where do I sign up to get a yard chick?
Maybe you should advertise in the classifieds.
Clearly, I went to the wrong store for that.
I think the name Yard Chick should really reel them in.
Wanted, yard chick, work free, pay. You fix food, I buy.
I've got a lot to say. Well,
what's new?
We'll wait till we get there. Terry's not advertising her yard chick services to you.
Yeah, they never do.
Let's get the side up here. Yeah, there's one guy on YouTube. Every time I forget to post the MP3 to a show, he's on it immediately. And so, and then I thought I just forgot about everything, or Amigos, but then Folds was like, "Where's R. Sinclair?" And I was like, "Well, I guess I just totally dropped the ball on both shows this week."
I was editing, City of Heroes happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I was editing my ARG.
While playing City of Heroes?
The second that it went up, I finished editing it because I was running behind because I'd been playing, because it's hard to say no to all the guys and it's great.
Yeah.
So we've been playing it. We play it every night. We love it. Those days are over because I got to work on this arcade machine. But we got a lot of fun. So much fun. I can't tell you how much fun.
Are we going to do another one of those? Or do you not?
I don't have anything. I mean, well, it's everything I said in Civil War pretty much exactly is happening.
Okay,
verbatim.
so we don't need to do one this week.
Well, no, people. Civil War did pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you see that the first one top 1,500 today?
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Well, it's because we put secrets in the title. This is because remember, people don't actually see the content of the show until they click on it. And what brings them in?
Did you look
secrets.
at the average length of watch time? It's one of the best we've ever done.
Yeah. I'm telling you, if we had a show called Secrets of City of Heroes, and you were in there dishing the dirt every week,
that's why I put the
we'd be in
there
business.
too. Because
We'd be in
the
business.
sounds more epic.
Oh,
Secrets
yeah.
of the City of Heroes.
Yeah.
I know you're like, but I'm telling you, who knew that little 12-minute gimmick would go nuts? And the thing is, it's so dated now. I can't figure out why people are still watching.
Because they don't know that it's dated. All I see are that there are secrets and that you've got to tell them.
But they're watching the whole thing, huh, fellas? They're watching most of it. I mean,
they're waiting for the secret
more,
to be revealed.
I think that thing went, about 11 minutes, and the average we thought was like 9 minutes, and I think it's down to like 6 or 7. But still, that's for us. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy with that. I'll be honest with you. It went real well. But no, I don't know if we need to tip our toe in that pool again.
Okay.
You know that the 1-Ups have new games out, Cat and South.
We can talk about that.
Well, I've got nothing yet.
Okay. Well, next week.
Next week, you're also in a hurry.
Yeah.
So
I got to go to Ollie's. They close early.
Why didn't you go? Why can't you just go tomorrow?
Tomorrow I got other stuff going on. I got I got trombone lesson.
But normally you don't have a show.
I really could go tomorrow, but I want to go tonight. I want to get it out of the way. Tomorrow I got to get my drink on.
The words half-assed get bantered around a lot. But we have right here we got.
Tomorrow I got to sit on the couch and eat chips while I eat most of the lawn.
Oh man, man, what a complete bum. I can't get away with any of that stuff.
Boss man, you're here. There it is. He's wearing it. I should have worn my shirt. I didn't wear it this week though. I wore the shell
shirt.
This
is for you, brother. Super apropos. Did you watch? I know you don't yell at me when I ask this question, but have you got a chance to look at our VR episode?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it a lot.
So because we got into quite a spat at the end of the episode.
I'm gonna comment.
And it was all Brent because I am the peacemaker, as you know. But I'm trying to find that. I'm trying to find that hilarity comment because I want to mention. Do you remember what show that was on? It was
it was on our last. It was on the Insert Disc 2 City of Heroes Civil War. Hey, Super VS Tech. Greetings.
I think it's Super versus Tech.
Oh yes.
There can be only one.
That's true.
I'm going with Super on that one. Having met Tech many times,
Tech is going to lose to Super 10 times out of 10.
Tech is a puss.
I want to do a video with you sometime. How to score boxing.
I just would go how to score. I think that's the video you should make.
Okay, well we could talk about that too.
No, you should make it because clearly you scored with the ultimate woman. She cooks, she cleans, she does your laundry, she works, and she does all the yard work.
Yeah, I have no idea. I just fell in backwards to that.
Let's talk Atari Jaguar and then crickets.
Hey, it outsold the CD32.
Well, yeah, I know. Listen, I've got a Jaguar. You know it. Me and you love that goofy, stupid fighting game.
I love the controller. It's so dumb.
It's wacky. Yep. It's huge. Mm-hmm. It's got all the size of the Duke without any of the actual functionality.
Right.
let's slap a phone pad on the middle of the sucker, and let's make the buttons weird. You know,
real weird and not easy to press.
Let's make a controller so large you could yield it as a weapon and just whack guys. That's what I like about it. All right. Ooh, company.
Maybe he works for the company. We love those guys.
Ooh, you toss an Orbitus shirt, you poor bum.
Versus technology.
I like that even better. That's a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
The picture of you yielding a keyboard. No, it'd be technology has the keyboard.
And you're punching it in the face.
You'd have like a battle axe or something.
Yeah. All right, you ready to start?
I don't know. What are we doing?
Amigos.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah. Look at this. Look at all these handwritten notes.
I like your handwritten notes. It's like Flax.
Flax?
His Bard's Tale notes.
Oh, yeah. It's eerily similar. I was a little less successful at this than I was at Bard's Tale. We'll tell you that. All right. Now, any wacky instructions I need to know?
Nope.
Press play.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Amigos. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
And today we're going to be talking about Disposable Hero.
That's me.
Is this the worst name for a game you've ever heard?
No. The fat worm eats a Sparky or whatever. Still,
well, you combine two horrible game names into one.
I can't remember what. It's Fat Worm.
The Tongue of the Fat Man.
And it's what's the other one?
Fat Boy.
No,
it's Fat Worm blows a Sparky.
So I got it close.
You were pretty close. Both of those games not appearing on the Amiga, unfortunately.
No, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, no, Disposable Heroes. That's kind of a cool name. It makes the ending make sense.
Well, it definitely fits my performance in this game because I was the most disposable of all the heroes.
There's no hero involved.
True.
Disposable loser gets murdered. They can't make a game called that.
It wouldn't have fit on the box. No. It's too long.
Also, that would be kind of a bummer to buy. Mommy, I want disposable loser gets murdered.
That's true. Although there's truth in advertising, as they say. Aaron, what's been going on lately in the world of everythingamiga.com? Has Dreamcatcher been up to some stuff?
Absolutely. DK has a new article up. This one's getting a lot of looks. Brian the Lion. Now, we took a look at this.
We covered this game
a while back, and while I enjoyed it on a certain level, here we go again. We got I remember falling into a lot of spikes, and it was a mixed bag, and also it's weird. But as usual, DK goes into great detail, and then added bonus details go into the comment section at the bottom, which I thought was pretty interesting to read. But this game, do you remember what you thought of this when we did it?
Yeah, I remember thinking that this was a fine platformer for the Amiga. It was varied. It was good. It was better than most. Although this continues the long tradition of incredibly dopey protagonists.
Well,
this guy, he's flouncing around, and this is the game. Remember, where the enemies, they don't really look like they're your enemies. They look like they just want to have fun.
Destroying people.
Yeah.
And Brian the Lion looks like he's perpetually tweaked.
Yes.
He's
high all the time.
I mean, I think he's taking those crystals or whatever he's collecting, and he's breaking them down and snorting them. But that could be wrong. DK will tell you one way or the other. So as usual, I strongly recommend this latest Dreamcatcher offering, Boat.
We should also talk about some videos that have gone up on our YouTube channel as of late. So let's talk about first the latest VR games, Ultra Wings and Rec Room on ARG Presents.
We went out there, way out there this week. As you know, Boat. My brother, he's the used car salesman of VR, and he even got you hooked at least twice on various VR setups. And so Brent was very excited to do VR games. Now, as you know, my VR exposure has been limited, but I do have my little Gear VR headset that works on my phone. So I actually went out and purchased a game, one of the better games I was told, called Ultra Wings. And then Brent went on and on about Rec Room, which is apparently a very popular free game that you can get for whatever what is his Oculus Rift or whatever he's got.
Either the Vive or the Rift. You
That's
can
right.
play it on both.
We actually had a pretty interesting discussion about VR, and then trailed off into a hideous non-stop scream battle at the end. So if you want to see me and Brent get into a near riot at the end,
you should have seen me driving home today as I was listening to this episode, screaming at you through the car stereo now because you are a fool and an idiot when it comes to VR.
You have played Rec Room, both?
Rec Room is exactly what Brent says it is, and the reason why you don't understand is because you revealed that you never actually played it. You watched a video on YouTube.
There's a reason for that, and you could talk to Brent about it.
Well,
he's unavailable Joe.
You should have a rule that if you both cannot play a system, you should not talk about it on the show.
Well, this is VR. I didn't have this.
We played
our own VR.
This is not freaking Pops Ghostly. You can't get by looking at a YouTube video and understand what's going on.
Every one of the things I said, I'll stand by. I don't care about the popularity.
That's because you've never played it before.
No, but I'm just saying you can't deny the fact that big chunks of this game are stuff we've seen before. Look at it, whether it's in VR or not. Looking at this as a regular schmo doesn't appeal to me. I want to see a big, super awesome looking title. I don't want to see something with Wii graphics and mini games. I don't want that.
Okay.
So you can scream at me all you want, but I'll yell at you too. I don't want that. I want something big and awesome, and I'll stand by that. So anyway, if you want to hear some arguments like that on this. Coming over to ARG.
It'll be great. But seriously, guys, it's a good episode. Aaron's game I thought was pretty interesting too.
Sickening.
I wondered how much of your trouble with overheating and the like comes from the fact that your phone is approximately 400 years old.
It's not that old. It's not that old. It always did that in VR. I'll stand by this too. When you do high performance VR on your phone, no sir.
Yeah, I've never tried VR on the phone before.
I mean, if you're doing stuff like the Google Maps virtual reality, which is really sort of simulated virtual reality, like a 3D photo, you're okay for a little while. Plus, that thing drains battery like you wouldn't believe.
That's true.
You know, but it didn't. It was cool looking while it lasted, and it was so cool looking that I wanted to vomit.
Let's talk about what's been going on in the wider world of Amiga news this week, Aaron. We got some good stories. It's been a good week for news. The first one, there's a couple stories in here. I'm not exactly sure how new they are. These are things that caught my eye and interested me. And the first one comes from our friends over at Amiga Kit. Now, you've ordered some stuff from Amiga Kit before,
yes,
right?
I have, many times.
Okay.
Well, several times. I won't go to many times.
And this is something that I think is relatively new. These are new disc labels, Amiga disc labels that you can purchase for your aging floppies. So say you've got some older floppies that kind of have some, those mailing labels from Office Max or whatever you stuck on there back in the 90s and you want to replace them with something a little bit classier. Well, I can tell you this, there are rainbow floppy disk labels available to you. 12-pack for €1.79.
Kind of pricey.
It's a little pricey, but hey, nothing Amiga comes cheap.
Also, I'll tell you this. You're not sticking these on old discs. That's not going to happen.
Why not?
Because, number one, old discs are old. If I was going to buy a bunch, I'd get a bunch of brand new discs to put them on.
Can you still buy new Amiga discs?
Well, yeah, they're just regular floppy disks.
Aren't they only like 400K or something like that?
No, you're good to go. You can get them.
You could buy just like an old PC like disc and format it for the Amiga and go
crazy.
To
you can't. You have to format it on the Amiga.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Okay, okay.
You don't need to use old discs. Not to mention, I've actually stupidly pulled off old labels. The result is not good. And also, they'll get stuck in there. It's just not good.
Okay.
But yeah. Labels. Yeah, these look okay. I mean, I'm not super excited about them, I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay, well, we'll move on.
That doesn't mean you're bad. I'm just saying, it's okay.
This comes to us, Pixels at Dawn sent me a link, I think, on the Discord about this. This is an article about how the demo for the Black Lotus revision-winning demo, how they created the soundtrack for this game. And remember, this is one of these things that it's neat because it's awesome and it's running on a stock Amiga. And so these guys talk about how they did that. It's a pretty neat article. The most interesting thing about this article, just to show you that there are trolls everywhere that won't hesitate to attack whatever you might hold dear. There's a guy down here trolling NTSC. He's like, it never was never twice the same color. Ha ha ha. NTSC.
Good one.
Have you ever come across people like that before?
To be fair, Bo, his nickname is Nitpicker Smarty Ass. So I was like, when you've got a nickname like that, This is what you do.
You've lived. For
I didn't
this
make
moment.
that up. That's his nickname. So yeah, he's gonna call out your video signal, the temperature of your house, what color your grass is, everything.
Everything's on the table.
Yes, please, Nitty Picky, whatever your name is, never come to our channel. I don't need that anymore. We're already getting hammered.
No. So this is over at Hackaday, and as always, if you go over to gatherwith2gs.com /Amigos Retro Gaming, you can see. Actually, that's not right. Amigos Podcast is the URL. You can check out all, and it's also a link in the show notes. You can see all our news stories.
Beautiful.
Next up, Aaron, this is something I don't know anything about, so I'm going to need your assistance.
Okay.
Okay, this is a program called GoADF.
Okay.
And this comes to us from Indie Retro News, our good friend Neil. And the sub-headline is, a fantastic piece of Amiga software your Amiga will thank you for.
Okay.
Okay, so I scroll down here, and it looks like you can open up an ADF and see all of the kind of different parts there are within that ADF.
Okay.
Okay. Have you ever had occasion to do this before?
I mean, maybe, but it's not for a long time.
I can see how it says the type of file system, the disk. I guess maybe disk size. That might be interesting to know how big the ADF is. Yeah. If you really want to get into the nuts and bolts of some of these files, I guess if you've got a lot of ADFs to kind of go through, this might be neat. But this is a new application that just came out either today or yesterday, and it works on any Amiga, I think, because 68,000 mega RAM. Kickstart 2.0.
It lets you mount the ADFs, and that's to a virtual drive. It's kind of cool.
Can you explain to me what that means?
It's just like mounting you ever use the Damon tools in Windows to mount a CD so you can access without actually having to see it's just an image?
Oh, so it's like burning an ISO onto your hard drive?
Well, no.
Okay,
I don't know what that is.
Well, like you can make a copy of the CD.
It's like mounting the ISO on your hard drive so you can, and it's in a pretend drive that you can go look at.
Right.
That's what that is.
Okay. So
now you can explain what you're talking about.
Okay, so whenever, like for example, in the old days when they used to have a lot of programs that required you to have a CD in the drive to get it to work, like I was using a Mac back then, and you could use a utility on the Mac to just burn an ISO file, which was the entire contents of the CD that your computer would read as if it were the CD.
That's the same thing.
Okay.
It's a virtual drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can see why that's
the burning
cool.
part's what threw me.
That might have not been the right word.
No.
Inverse burning.
No.
Melting.
Just keep going.
Okay.
That looks pretty good. I'll have to check that out.
And of course, it comes from some guy with a real Eastern European sounding name, because that's where all the great stuff comes from.
They know what they're doing over there in Eastern Europe.
Up next, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, AntStream, the retro gaming streaming service, including Amiga games and Spectrum games, has reached its Kickstarter goal. They wanted $65,000. They're now up to $73,000.
Yeah, they made it in 7 days to spare. Not too bad. So, I think there's something here. I think there could be something here.
I've been contemplating lately.
Yeah. Well done.
The big questions.
Okay. Such as?
Do I need to start buying CDs again?
Well, audio CDs?
Audio CDs.
Why is that the big question? And what's the answer?
Well, I was reading this article about how, there is no transferability. Like, if you go by the letter of the law, say that I go on iTunes and I buy 8 million songs, okay? If I die, neither my wife nor my family has any legal recourse to those files. Them continuing to listen to that music is breaking the law. It's not like when you buy a CD and you own that CD, you're only licensing the right to play that music. And once you die, your license is gone.
Okay.
And so
makes sense.
I'm wondering, for the future, for the good of the world, I want to pass on all of my taste to, people that come after me, because the world deserves to know what I like.
Well, why can't you just take your, first of all, Apple's the devil and iTunes is crap.
Right.
That much said. That's my usual disclaimer. Why don't you just take your iTunes collection, which I'm assuming is several hundred gigs, and just download it and then stash it.
Okay, that works for music, but that does not work for Steam. Okay, and I'm extending this argument out to other fields, and I'm wondering.
I was wondering where you were going.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, like, if I die, my Steam games, nobody gets them. Legally, they can.
Can't you just give Eep your name and password?
Yes, but legally, she's not allowed to use them.
Legally,
They're only
who
licensed.
cares?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, do we need to start pushing back against this stuff by pushing towards buying physical hardware again, or physical software?
Well, here's the problem. The die is cast on that. Those days is over. They are no. It's not going to happen. Physical. I mean, look, the Xbox that's coming out is a prime example. They have accomplished their ultimate goal.
Mm-hmm.
They've cut out resellers. They've cut out selling used discs, and for gaming anyway. There'll be a time very soon where there are no more physical copies. Now, there's an outfit I hear about all the time on Pixelgating that goes out and takes a game that was a digital release and they make 1,000 copies of a physical release.
It's a collector's item sort of deal.
And they instantly go through the roof, and they're beating their own mothers down to get their stepping over each other.
I've heard about this too.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I suppose if you wished, you could go out, you could look over your Steam collection, and what percentage of your Steam collection would you think was available physically?
Oh, I'd say probably less than 10%.
Okay, that's what I figured. Mm-hmm. You could go out, you could buy the 10% that you can, and then you could go out and see if anyone has made physical interpretations of these digital releases, if they did, and you could buy those. Then you're boned, and that's it. Because those days, I mean, it's one of the good things about being a retro guy. Not to worry about that stuff.
That's
you know what
true.
I'm saying? Now, I know you're playing that into this Ant Stream argument, and it's a valid point. If Ant Stream goes away next week, all the crap hey, listen, I've got one of those On Live accounts. Remember On Live? Gone. I've got an account with the old what was the Android-based gimmick? There's the Game Stick and the Ouya. That's what it was. Any games you're boned. All these things went away. All right. Could Steam go away? Yes. Could you die? Yes. They won. That's the thing. The corporations won. You don't have rights to anything. You don't have access to it. And so your only alternative for Eep, if she wanted to come down here and play one of your mini games, is for her to illegally access your account and play them.
I'm going Linux.
Now, it wouldn't matter because Steam's on Linux too. It's the same thing.
That's
now,
true.
My suggestion to you, and LaRon, if you're listening, at this point, turn down that microphone, turn down the headphone. My suggestion to you is to not lose 1 second sleep over this. Just because they made this scenario does not mean you have to adhere to it or give a crap about it. Screw them. It's much like the City of Heroes things. I paid them. They went away. They took down the thing I wanted. Screw them. That's the way it goes. Same thing with this. If she can get into your Steam account, now iTunes is a whole different kettle of fish there. I would download that stuff straight away.
Yeah.
All that said, the Ant thing, listen, we could all play all these games. That's no problem. But unified leaderboards, head-to-head internet play, that wacky, the achievement bonuses,
it is exciting.
All the stuff they talked about. Hey, listen, I'm as cheap as they come. You know me, Boat. I will pinch a penny, Jack Benny style. But I would put out a couple bucks to get some of these games, just to get on some leaderboards and have some fun that way.
Yeah.
It's a lot
some
like
multiplayer, some leaderboards.
It's a lot like the Google thing, you know.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Google's game streaming service, okay? Which is going to be more modern, presumably. I would pay a few bucks to do certain nutty things. If I can watch a YouTube video of a guy playing Disposable Hero, for example, and right at a point where he goes that I can't get past, I can jump into his game and play from there.
Oh, man, that would be great.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll pay a few bucks for that.
That would be awesome.
Like a Netflix of gaming, I'm in. But it's got to work, and they have to give it to me with no baloney.
Right.
And it's the same thing with this Ant Stream thing. If I want to play a bunch of Spectre games I don't got, which is almost all of them, you know, and I can get them for $1 or $2 or whatever, I'm in. I'll play them, and I want leaderboards and the whole 9 yards. But don't start restricting me or you know, jacking up the price.
Right.
But otherwise, I'm excited about it.
Cool. Well, we'll definitely keep following that. Next story, Aaron. This really should have gone in our site news, but I'm putting it here anyway. Our Instagram has been reborn.
Yes.
Okay. Chris Folds, the man behind it, has been steadily adding content to our Instagram, and you can follow us. It is at Amigos Retro Podcasts.
I hear this is what all the kids are using these days.
Yeah, the IGs. So we're getting some likes, you know.
I mean, ask you a question here.
Okay.
Philosophical question about these various social platforms, right? Because we got the Twitter, we got the Facebook.
Yep.
We had the Google Plus, and we've got the Instagram. Which one of these is the least evil?
Well, Facebook owns Instagram.
Okay. There's that then.
Okay.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And well, Twitter is.
Where should I throw myself behind?
Oh, you should.
If I'm going to get behind one of these social platforms, which one is it?
Mastodon.
I don't know what
the
that
one
is.
that nobody's on.
Is that a fat guy joke?
No,
Oh.
It's the one that nobody's on, but it's the most open, transparent, blah 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 blah.
Oh boy.
But the problem is
Nobody's
that
on there.
you've got some juggernauts. You got one Donald J. Trump on Twitter, and his presence alone guarantees that this thing is not going away anytime soon.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, I always wonder because I've heard Instagram's a big deal, but what's the difference? I've never been on here.
Instagram is just pictures.
Uh-huh.
So if you get tired of words and the words that people say that anger you,
Yeah.
you can stop looking at that and you can just start looking at pictures.
Can I just write down the words I want to say and then take a picture of it?
Yes, and people do that, and I'm sure that they annoy people. I've never actually used Instagram before. I don't have an account.
Why am I talking to you about it then?
But I do have a wife that uses Instagram quite frequently.
Eep is way up on this stuff.
Yeah. She would be more apt to talk about the marvels of Instagram than I would.
Maybe we should have her on the show and she could talk to Folds directly.
That's true.
Because clearly we're idiots when it comes to this stuff.
Yes.
We need an Amiga-based social media. You literally have to have an Amiga or use an emulator. Someone get to work on that.
Well, there is the Play-Doh cartridge or the Play-Doh service. Have you heard of this before?
Not.
This is a multi-platform retro message board, essentially, that if you have an Atari 800 or you have an Apple II or an Amiga, they all connect to the same network. And this guy on the Atari Age boards, he's coded all this. He's taken a system that went down, I guess, and has recoded it for all these different computers. So I'm thinking about this summer trying to dive into that a little bit.
That's a good idea. What's it called again?
It's called Play-Doh.
I'm gonna write that down. All right, I got it.
Yeah.
Move along. What else you got?
And finally, our buddy Jonas Rulo, patron of the show.
King of Hawaii.
Yeah, King of Hawaii. They've flown in the Amigos supporters magnets for 2016, 2017, and 2018.
We're a little behind.
As well as the Amigos Game Selection Committee magnets have all arrived. So if you've been supporting the show and during any of those years and you have sent me your mailing address, you are getting Magnet-orama.
Now, I'm looking at these. They all look great.
Thank you.
Now, I've got to tell you, the Amiga supporter for 2016, that's going to be the rare one.
Right.
That looks like some disco wackiness right there. I love. Am I going to get it? Because I am an Amiga. Do I get one of these?
As long as I've got extra.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I ordered some extras. So
I'm going to plaster these all over the place.
Yeah. So can you recognize? I know it's very, very hard to tell, but can you tell from this distance what that character is?
That's not the goofy idiot character from Top Banana.
No, because that's what 2018 is.
Oh, yes. Okay, I can see that. Then is that a lemming?
No, that's James Pond. He's very, very small.
Yeah. That picture is not flat.
No, then 2017.
That's Zool?
Yeah, that's Zool.
Yeah, and then up at the top, that's the Croatian flag.
Right. So, look forward to those guys. I'm going to spend probably the next 4 to 6 months of my life stuffing envelopes with magnets. I'm coming up with a clever plan to put them on a piece of paper and to get use a global first-class stamp to get these out quickly.
Ooh, global.
Quickly, yeah.
And if it helps, I will be behind boat with an extension cord beating him in the back.
That's your job in this endeavor.
That's right.
All right, Aaron.
Sweet. One more item I want to touch on.
Let's talk about it.
We had an interesting. And this brings me up to a bridge here. We had a glorious comment on one of our videos here. I just want to get into it here. And this is our. We've done some City of Heroes coverage. If you're in the City of Heroes coverage, we did a couple videos on it. We actually did quite a few videos in the past couple of weeks. I put another one up this week of me and Brent playing another arcade game that was pretty entertaining. But we put up a City of Heroes video. And we got a very intelligently worded response from a fellow. I want to give this guy some press. CT2507 was his name. So, good name. I think he may be a robot. It said, "Wow, you guys are in terrible physical shape. Stop sitting so much playing games and get up from those chairs. Start doing some fitness."
I love doing some fitness.
Let me tell you something. I took this to heart, and I did reply to this fellow. And what did I reply to him with? a plug for Amigo Aaron's weight loss wager.
Explain the wager.
A lot of people have forgotten about the wager, but it's still happening because I can't forget about it because it haunts my days and nights nonstop. The wager I made in January, I think it was about January 10th, was that Amigo Aaron, would lose 100 pounds by the Amigathon.
In July.
And I was asking people to donate a certain dollar amount per pound I lose. But, as with any good wager, there's got to be some skin in the game. And the skin is this. If I can't lose 100 pounds by our Amigathon, then I would have to pay 5 American US dollar bills per pound that I came up short. Right? That's the deal. I want to announce now that we've moved the Amigathon back into December. I'm just kidding. Still in July. I've got 2 months and some days until this Amigo challenge is, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I am behind, but I'm going to start hitting the road, doing some road work. We're probably gonna take some video of my various
Cue the Rocky montage.
Extreme workouts to get this weight off. And so I would like to challenge CT2507 and anyone else out there to contact us and pledge a buck maybe or 50 cents a pound. It all goes to a good cause, Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals, but we love those guys. We don't see dime one. Now I will say this diet has saved me some dimes because I don't eat as much great food as I used to because I got to eat garbage all the time. Nothing but, lean. Everything lean.
Yeah.
But if you're interested, go over to everythingamiga.com. We've got it all linked up. I believe there's a new page that's been put up specifically for this.
It's waiting for some content.
Yeah, but it's coming.
Yep.
And we will be more than happy to accommodate you or send Bo an email. Bo, you want to throw an address out for him?
Absolutely. Aaron at amigospodcast.com.
There it is. Drop us a line. We'd be more than happy to accept some bids. Now, we don't know exactly when the Amigathon is, right?
No, we haven't set a date.
Right, we haven't said it, but it's gone somewhere in probably the middle of July. So I've got, like I said, 2 months and some change. It's going to be a tough road, but I will say, as I close on this, I have lost some weight, and then we'll just go with that.
All right. Let's talk about this week's game, Aaron.
Absolutely.
Disposable Hero.
Disposable Hero, Boat. Now, had you played this one before?
No, never even heard of it.
I'd heard of it, and I think I have played it back in the day. So this game was released in 1993. Now, you may not know this, Boat.
That's the year I was in 6th grade.
Really? Mm-hmm. That year I had graduated from school and was headed down to work for IBM. I know.
The glory days.
I know. So this came out on 2 discs or 1 CD. This had a CD32 release, Bo. What do you think about that?
Well, I've heard. Well, I guess you're going to talk about the differences between the two a little bit later
Very
on.
few differences, yes. This was released by this was developed. It was published by Gremlin. We all know them, but it was developed by an outfit called Boys Without Brains / Euphoria.
That sounds like a cracker group.
No, it does sound like a cracker group, but it's not. So I when you've got a name like that, I got to get in there. All right, so I had a look at these guys. They didn't do much, in all honesty. They basically did a game called Flimbo's Quest,
which we've talked about Flimbo's Quest before.
And they also did a game on the C64 of some renown called Hawkeye.
Okay.
I'm presuming it's about the MASH character.
Hawkeye Pierce.
It came out in '88. So these guys are Dutch, and guess what? They're from the demo scene. They're a demo scene group.
Hence the name.
And they did a large number of demos, and eventually, after 1988, when they did Hawkeye, they changed development names, and a couple of the guys that were in Boys Without Brains went over and started Euphoria. And it's in the Netherlands, and they formed that one in about '89, and that's when they made the game we're looking at today. Once they were, and then I guess they just went away because there's not much else about these guys. And if you look at what they did Flimbo's Quest and this.
And you got to realize, too, that 94, 95 was right at the cutoff where it became very, very difficult to have a 2 or 3 man team put out anything commercially viable.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that, Boat. So, the CD32 version, I'm not going to touch this because there's not a ton of difference. Now, I played the ECS OCS version of this. I'm assuming you did as well.
I did.
Now, the CD32 version, as far as I could tell, had three major differences. Okay, difference number one, a different intro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, difference number two, CD sound.
Mm-hmm.
Difference number three, and this is one that I can't confirm, but this is what people said. They made it slightly easier.
Yeah, that was the big takeaway I had.
All right. Now, in retrospect, since I've read that, I wish I had played that version.
Me too.
But we'll get to
Me
that.
too.
We'll get to that in a moment. So, what is Xenon 2? Or excuse me, what is Disposable Hero? Well, I jumped my gun there. If I was going to summarize what it is, you take Xenon 2. Remember Xenon 2?
Mm-hmm.
You smush it together with like Menace or Blood Money. All right, you smush those two games together, and maybe throw it, and then sprinkle in a little bit of, like, say, an R-Type, and then you get this kind of nutty game. This game has a weird story. I'm assuming I'm guessing you watched the intro to this.
I did, and I've
You wanna
already
talk about
forgotten.
it?
Well, the intro is you've got this computer screen with a green phosphorus monitor.
Yeah.
And it basically tells you about the state of the world. Guess what? It's another game where the world has gone to heck.
To be fair, though, this is a much weirder version of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got the plot
Okay.
synopsis here if you're interested.
Hit me.
So it's 2808, and an alien threat attacks the headquarters of the land forces and begins the dark years of human civilization.
Well, at least we got till 2808.
No, it keeps going. We're still going. 2867, because this goes in big chunks of years.
Oh, okay.
Terrestrial scientists have discovered new military technology to use in battle. The combat task force is called D-Hero. Get it?
Oh.
And in 2970, so we jump forward like 100 some years, the Disposable Heroes have new battle weapons. The Earth Defense Headquarters was destroyed, and the time has come to intervene immediately.
Would you sign up to be a member of a group called the Disposable Heroes?
Absolutely not.
No.
But anyway, they fire up the Prototype 2 battle spaceship to counter the alien invasion. That's you. You're the poor jerk that's going to fly this, and presumably that's a picture of your guy. Now, once again, the Amiga doesn't let you down with the hero. This guy looks like the biggest drunk slacker who just crawled out. It looks like he's in like a 50s tribute band. You know? Who are we going to entrust the fate of humanity with? How about this doofus? Doofus McGee.
You with the purple mohawk. Come forward.
No smoking in the Prototype 2, please. Because he's got the big smoke sticking out. So this game does start off with, like, it almost was like Hacker. It comes up and there's like a bunch of scrolling text. I was like, what the heck's this crap?
Yeah.
You know, and I read it, and it was a lot of just weird stuff, and pretty much we'd summarized it. So, much like a lot of shooting games, whatever the backstory is, just toss that to garbage, because it doesn't matter. You fly a ship and go through levels blowing up bad guys. That is your plot. Now, let's talk about the game as a whole here. Let's talk about what you do. Like I said, you're in this ship. The ship is can be equipped with multiple weapons. Okay, but that's weird, and we'll get to that. You go through these levels and you shoot bad guys. Now, we have played over the years a lot of these shmups on the Amiga. All right, some good, some bad, some in the middle. They often veer towards the more difficult side of gaming. All right, I think you would agree with that.
They're all hard.
They're not. Yeah, they're mostly hard. I mean, there's some like Swift or Silkworm, but those are ports and not Swift's
right.
not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like something like Hybris. That's not super hard.
No, it's not
pretty
super
fun.
hard. Yeah.
So this game looked at all the Amiga shmups and was like, "You call that difficulty? Screw you!" And then they ramped this thing up, because what this is, and this is. You know, I read a couple people that mentioned that they thought this was the European philosophy on shooters, and I'm not gonna. Hey, listen, I'm not gonna rag on Europe. I'm not throwing them under the bus on this. But this is the philosophy of shooters where you just die a lot and screw you. There's in this game, even the very first ship you come across requires multiple shots to kill.
Right.
There are no gimmies. You can get shot at the very opening of this game before you see what shoots you. Okay. The game has your ship, which admittedly, it has permanent auto fire, which is nice.
Yep.
going through what I would call the enemies that were very blood money like or menace like, as the early on at least, as you go through these tight quarters. With 4 million things shooting at you.
Yeah, and in addition to the 4 million things shooting at you, there are objects in the foreground that you can run into. When you said tight corridors, you weren't kidding.
Yes, this game is vicious. And what it reminds me of a lot, if you remember the old game, I get them confused. I think it was Super Cobra, the chopper game. Where there's one spot in it where you get to these caverns, and there's this real tight cavern you have to fit through. If you took the difficulty of that cavern and then just made a game,
just expanded that into an entire game,
you would have this game. It is incredibly difficult. You can't touch you do have a life bar, but you can't touch the background. You can't touch the bullets. You can't really run into enemies. You can't do nothing. Anything you touch, you take damage. The ability to get extra weapons is marred by one simple fact. I wasn't good enough to get to the point where I could get more weapons. I cheated at this game like a dog to try to get to the point that I did. Eventually I did. But it's difficult. Because you have to, in this game, you don't just, say a Raiden, or you drive across a weapon, right? Or some games, if you're like Raiden, if you drive across the weapon, color, and it upgrades whatever weapon you got. Right? It's simple. Not this game. That ain't the way this thing works. So when you pick up an icon, and they're scattered around, and usually they're in places that'll get you murdered. Like they've been cunningly positioned to screw you.
Right.
Am I wrong here?
You are not wrong.
And there are some places where they put them, and there's no way I want to meet the guy that could get that weapon and then not get killed. Because the screen's sort of ever scrolling, and you can get caught in places, which are what it reminds me of Xenon 2. And among other reasons, which I'll get into. But anyway, once you pick this stuff up, they're icons that are blueprints for weapons, and when you have enough energy, you can install the weapons, and then you have to land on a blue dome, which in Blood Money, when you land at these little landing ports, it's a store. Not because the store would be okay, but not in this game. There's no money. In this game, you go here and you can install weaponry or change.
It's like a blueprint type system.
Yeah, or change the. Have you ever seen a game that does this exact?
I think I have. I think I've seen a game where you're upgrading with blueprints before. I can't remember what it was, but it's not the first time I've seen this concept.
Right. So, complaining aside, let's talk about a little bit of the content of the game. You go through this. There's about a half hour worth of scrolling screen, and this depending on how well you deal with the bad guys. There's probably about 5 or 6 different levels. Okay, so I tried to break them down as I saw them. You've got sort of this organic-y space level to start off in. Then you go to a straight up organic level that's real wacky.
You're in the belly of the beast.
Then you go to almost like a ocean level or watery type level. Then there's a cavern level. Then there are these cliffs. A level, and almost like a cliffs with some stuff being built around there. So the levels are distinct. I mean, for the most part, some of them are actually quite interesting looking. Even with unlimited energy and unlimited men, I had all kinds of trouble getting through these levels, and I never, it's a frustrating game.
When you're cheating and you're still frustrated, the game's hard.
I watch a lot of playthroughs on this, and I don't think I saw anywhere the guys weren't cheating.
No.
So because I don't think it's possible. Some of this, like I said, there's a lot of this stuff that reminds me of a Blood Money or a Psygnosis shooter. There's organic parts, especially where there's there are areas where your ship has to go through something. There are plenty of areas in this game where your ship has to go through something that's exactly the size of your ship. Okay, but that's not good enough. They've got to have stuff shooting down at those points, or stuff you have to shoot through.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's a tragedy to this game, and the tragedy is, in my opinion, that the game has a lot of really cool content. The bosses in this, and there are tons of them, and I'll get to them in a minute, are real interesting, and the levels are pretty cool, but they're so difficult. I read a guy on Lemon that said he can get through the whole game without cheating. I want to actually see that. I would like to see that happen. I watched the guy beat Super Punch-Out today without ducking, blocking, or moving. Okay? I thought, that's incredible.
Yeah.
How did he do that? This would be a more incredible feat by a wide stretch.
If you are that guy on Lemon and you're listening, because I read that review too, please post your playthrough on YouTube.
So let's talk about some of these crazy bosses. All right, so this game has sub bosses and then like bigger bosses, right? Just to go over a couple I thought were interesting. You start off, one of the first things you see is this ship that has two crazy like octopus arms and up and down, and it's going like this. And you're shooting the arms, and all of a sudden, a big, huge beam comes out of the middle of it.
And it destroys you.
So I did get past. I'm not gonna say I got pretty far, but I got past him. I got to the mech. I got past. There's a mech that walks up, and the funny thing about this guy is, you don't have to kill him. You can just kind of stay under his legs, but he takes up the whole screen, and so you've got about that much screen to play with. Something else, you have to memorize all these levels. There's no going through this and just trying to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, you can't do it on the fly.
No, because there are dead ends and stuff. It makes it difficult. There's a crazy. How can I describe it? There's a ship there's a mama, I guess, that while in the middle of battle drops eggs that hatch, and then the contents of the eggs come at you.
Right.
And then when all the eggs are hatched, then she breathes fire. So this chick, talk about born under pressure. There's a crazy tusked skeleton creature, almost like a dragon or something with big tusks. That was pretty cool.
Do dragons have tusks?
This one did. There's this. There are a couple times you see this guy. It's like a skinless pterodactyl looking guy.
There's a lot of sort of prehistoric type stuff in this game.
Remember we were playing. What game was I playing? It was one me and Brent playing ARG. There's this thing that's like wedged in between the ceiling and the floor with two legs, and it walks along, and its head's in the middle. That was pretty wacky. I thought that was a pretty interesting one. There's all kinds of skull-based shooting stuff. There's a scorpion with a brain. After you shoot the scorpion, a brain comes out. You fight that. There's a mech. There's like a giant mech that looks like it's got Jaws' head sort of like mechanically placed on top of it. Which all this stuff's real bizarre and crazy, which I like. I like that stuff. There's one section where you get to, and I'd love to have gotten here, where you're in like a turbine or something, and all of a sudden your ship goes like twice as fast down this pipe, and you have to dodge these lasers. There's a really awesome section toward the end where there's almost like a horizontal loader that rides on this track. And at first, when you see it, it's just shooting lasers at you as you fly under it. But then eventually, it'll come by and drop enemies for you to fight until you can blow it up. I thought that was pretty cool. And then the end boss is this kind of a running mech thing that comes after you, and it jumps towards you. It was pretty cool, too. There are some instances where the game will stop scrolling, and sometimes it'll either scroll faster or go backwards a little bit.
Most of the boss sequences and the mini boss sequences, you'll have some slowdown and give you time to fight, and then it'll roll on.
Yeah. Of course, this does have a hard scroll, so you're pretty much boned. Just before I get into the more particulars of stuff, what did you think of the atmosphere, the graphics, the music? How did that strike you, Boat?
This is without a doubt the best looking shooter I've ever seen on the Amiga, and possibly anywhere outside the arcade.
Wow.
I mean, this game is beautiful. It's beautiful. It's varied. The types of motions. I'll never forget the first time, episode 1 of Amigos. We did Hybris.
I love that.
And I saw that first boss trot out there and do that shimmy across this, and I was like, oh my God, this thing's supposed to be a 16-bit console. This thing is a 16-bit console game. This is ECS, OCS, and this thing is beautiful. If the Amiga could have come out with something like this in 88 or 89, man, they would have had a hit on their hands.
This looks like something almost right off the Genesis.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
This thing, and it's not just the fact that the graphics are pretty. Everything is well animated, and the animations are thoughtful.
Yeah.
Like, if this thing actually existed in life, this would be how it moved.
Yeah. And the backgrounds and stuff too.
The backgrounds are great. The background music. There's background music.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to say that. This is the Amigos.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's fine.
It didn't blow my mind or anything.
It fits the genre. I thought that it is kind of a drag to not just be able to run over the power-ups and get them, but it is different. It's not necessarily a bad thing to go into the shops. I wish the shops would have been labeled, like shop or something.
They're not really shops,
right? Or like whatever they're supposed to be. It's not immediately
rest area.
When everything else in the game kills you upon contact, you're not immediately drawn to try and figure out where you're supposed to go. But that all said, the extreme difficulty of this game takes it from a 10 to like a 3.
Wow.
Because I mean, what's the use of having the most beautiful, well-animated game in the world if the game is no fun to play because it's so brutally difficult?
It is undeniably difficult. To get back to what you said, the backgrounds in this thing are actually so detailed, it's unbelievable. And in fact, they're almost too detailed because it almost confuses.
Sometimes you're like, can I run into that? Can I go over that or not? Yeah.
There are areas where the cave's falling in, for example, and the stalactites are falling off, or there's like these weird areas where there's like these weird alien embryos, these giant tubes. You know, what the heck are they working on?
Right.
You don't know, right? I agree with almost everything you said. I don't think this is the prettiest shooter.
You're insane. There's no shooter that's prettier than this on the Amiga.
Well, I'd have to ponder. I don't want to make that statement without having a good think about it. I mean, it's definitely attractive, and like there's that thing I was telling you about. The truth of the matter is, this is what you could do with the old chipset too, which is quite astounding.
Again, you know, people were like, the AGA is going to change everything. No, good programmers change everything.
Well, I mean,
you know?
it's true. And if you we've been that gets proven time and time again when we look at other systems, modern stuff, or even some of their old stuff.
Yeah.
But I love the backgrounds. The web. Let's talk about the weapons a little bit. And I don't know how many of these you got to actually use. I didn't get
not very many.
of them.
And I wouldn't even know how to describe them really.
Well, I've got a little list here that tells me what they are. I mean, you basically get two-way submachine gun, three-way gun, laser. There's two types of like these like satellites. There's one that hangs over you, and there's one that spins around you. Bombs. You can increase the speed of your ship. You know, it's not, they didn't reinvent the wheel. There's up and down shots, stuff like that. I can't imagine, and one of the reasons I had so much trouble is because when you start out, if you're cheating and you just go somewhere and then you start off and you're just a regular ship, you just get mauled. You got zero chance because there's so much on the screen. I will say to compliment this game, and I did compare it to Menace or Blood Money, but really the comparison is sort of the Blood Money and Menace had these sort of shapes just came out and attacked you. Like this sort of, sometimes you'll see these patterns like that, but a lot of times the things are more thoughtful.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
There is nothing that Menace or Blood Money does better than this game except for the intro sequences.
That's true. Well, but I mean, when I say that, I'm not comparing the quality of the game.
It's a tight corridors type, really hard game.
Blood Money is very similarly difficult. I will say, but. I like the store situation in Blood Money more than I like it in this one. And Xenon 2 is the same way. Xenon 2 is a much more lethargic shooter than this, but it's not nearly as hard either. I will say that. I want to touch on a few kind of wacky things. You have to, I like to start these games as easy as possible because I suck. If you're in training mode, you can't go past level 3.
Hey, I didn't have to worry about that because I never made it past level 1.
Well, I'm just saying. So that's something you might want to recall. Now, I looked at, some guy had a big blow up of the box, and it was awesome. It's this chick, and it's a drag. It's really cool looking. And I looked it up. The box art was done by a guy named John Berkey, who is known for doing movie posters.
Okay.
So get this, he's done. I got a little list here: Star Wars, King Kong, Towering Inferno, Superman 3, and Star Trek. He worked on all his movie posters.
Pretty good record there.
If you see the cover of this, it's pretty awesome. So, all that aside, where are we going here with this? Well, here's the final score. It's too hard. It's too hard. That's all there is to it. The game is too difficult, and you can't get far enough to make it fun. That's it. That's all I got to say about it. It looks good. It plays good.
I'm eager to hear what the magazine said about this. Did they concur with our...
They did. Well, no, not really. Yeah, sort of. So, Lemon gave this... What's funny, of course, I looked up both. So, Lemon gave this a 7.96 for the old version. CD32 version, they gave it an 8.21. Of course, you're getting less scores. Amiga Action gave this 80, Amiga Force 83, Amiga Format 70. So you're looking at C, B, that area. Amiga Power 77, AUI out of Australia 86. Computers Plus Video Games gave it a 79.
CU Amiga gave it a 79, and the One gave it an 83. So they're actually pretty consistent this month in terms of their scoring. So CD32 version of this thing on eBay. Okay, now here's something that struck me as odd. Get this. There's a guy in Brazil selling a bunch of sealed copies of this in the CD32. This happens every once in a while. They send up in a weird country. $50 US will get you one. All right, and they're selling for that. Now, in the UK, you can get these things for $32. In Germany, $101 for one of these things, and in the UK right now, $32. Now, that's pretty high.
Yeah.
Because I think this game was a pretty good seller. So I was kind of surprised it was going that expensive. So you're not going to get a cheap. This thing isn't going to be a cheap date. That's for sure. But this game disappointed me, to be honest with you. And the disappointment came from the ability. I hate games like this. There's so much there that you can't get to. And it's true. And I'm not the worst player. Now I tried this. I put this thing on my arcade machine to give it a whirl, and I did better. But it's still just extremely hard.
Yeah. I mean, I played this mostly with my Epix stick. And it was nice with the auto fire. Just hold that button down. And I had a good time with it, but it's too hard.
It's too hard. It's too hard, and this is something that plagues the Amiga time and time again.
And I'm not a great shooter player to begin with. So.
One thing I want to mention, I sort of mentioned it when we started. There's nothing I don't like more than enemies that take multiple hits in a game like this. It's one thing if you're the boss, but you're the very there are no enemies in this that die with one hit.
Yeah, there need to be some scrubs that you can take out with one shot.
This thing also has these, and these things are everywhere. These cannons that follow you, just like blood money, and these things are crack shots. It is so tough, and you get to a point where there's so much going on the screen. You go to that bullet hell area, and you can't have all that pushing. It's just too much. It makes me sad. But.
Yeah. Well, our Discord community reviews agree for the most part. Chris Folds writes, beautiful graphics, sound, and speed, real console quality stuff. He's right there. Let down by a near vertical difficulty level. Like I've said 1,000 times, why make all those levels if mere mortals can never get past level 1?
Yep.
So hard it's unplayable for me, 5 out of 10. Laurent Giroux says, Disposable Hero is a technically very impressive shoot-em-up.
Yes.
Displays loads of enemies on screen without as much of a hint of slowdown. That's true. I didn't think about that, but you rarely see slowdown on that. Yeah. It boasts varied background graphics and enemies as well as extensive and varied levels, spiced up by the possibility of upgrading one ship via the multiple shops available here and there. However, it lacks the gameplay and tuning department. Too tough, too fast, sometimes confusing backgrounds.
Yes.
Could have been fantastic, but it ends up only being average. 5 out of 10.
And that's pretty much where I land on this. I mean, it's just, God, it's disappointing too.
Next up, Pixels at Dawn, who just got back from Avengers, is with us in the chat right now. He says, a visually stunning and sounding shooter, one of the best on the Amiga, but even the clever shop design with its frequent heals can't make up for the poorly balanced weapon power. I only managed to get to the second level with infinite lives.
Good, I'm not the only one.
Someone needs to re-release this with some tweaks. That's true. Maybe Earrock or Amiga J or one of those guys can figure out a way to make this easier.
Yeah.
Graham Vebke, we got a lot of reviews on this game this week. He says, this is a game aimed at a shmup fan like myself and those who can smash R-Type in their sleep. It's a very fluid, beautiful game with a combat and weapon system which is both genius and complex. And this, along with the hardcore difficulty, will sadly turn many away. 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, if you're one of those guys that can smash R-Type in their sleep, this is the game for you.
Yeah, because you won't smash this.
No.
I don't care how good you are at R-Type.
Duncan Styles says, and finally we'll finish with this one, this game hates me and I hate it. Looks great, moves smoothly, but I just can't get on with it. 6 out of 10.
One thing we should mention, did you watch the ending of this game?
Yes.
Can we talk about that?
Let's talk about it.
You go through and vanquish all these aliens. I mean, let me tell you, if the Disposable Hero gets through this whole game and lands, this guy should be carried out like I don't know what you can do.
And it starts that way. He lands and there's people cheering on the deck.
Yeah.
Okay. So he lands. He walks out of the ship.
He doesn't react to the crowd in any way.
No, he just struts over to his sports car, his red Lambo. He gets into it. He drives off. Then a guy from the crowd pulls out a bazooka, fires it at the car, it explodes, game over.
And you see a picture of your guy with like a twinkle in his teeth.
Right.
Now here's the part I like. Cause I like the reasoning behind this. You've got a guy as the guy pulls out the bazooka, a big arrow appears, and it's like this guy. It points down on the screen, bing, 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 like a big neon sign. Mm-hmm. This is the guy to look at. I was like, so I'm guessing people may have seen this before and were like, didn't notice or something.
Right, they're just like,
what? I mean, did you need the arrow, like a flash and neon arrow? Here he is. I thought that was good. Yeah, that's a bizarre ending.
It's so weird. Was there anything in the docs that you read or any kind of this?
No. I looked for information. I was like, I need some closure. So it's funny. I talked to my buddy at work, and I said, listen, why do you think they would do this? And the only thing we could figure is, so he got finished with the hero part of the story. Mm-hmm. So what's left? You dispose of this sucker.
Yep.
Well, when we don't know who runs this new government. Mm-hmm. Do you want a guy that could get through this game walking around?
Nope.
You kill this sucker.
You want him out of the way.
He's done. He killed all the aliens, and now we're finished with him. You know, so that's the way it goes. That's my guess.
Well, Aaron, a couple things. About before we close up the end of the show. The first is that we have a new way of accepting support on the show.
Send food directly to my house.
That, or if you go to everythingamiga.com/support, we have a button to make monthly contributions via PayPal. I know not everyone is crazy about Patreon, or they don't want to fool with making a Patreon account. And so we offer this other way if you want to support the show, and you get all the same rewards that you do on Patreon. The magnets, the Discord, the game selection committee, all of it can be yours. It's
the feeling of self-satisfaction.
That's right.
With a job well done.
That glow in your heart. So head on over to everythingamiga.com/support if you'd like to do that. Last week, the Patreon song, which I guess we're going to start calling it the supporter song because it now includes people with both PayPal and Patreon subs. The supporter song, I can't believe you didn't get this. This is one.
I had no idea on that.
Have you ever seen Midnight Cowboy?
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember the song at the beginning of Midnight Cowboy?
No.
Okay, well, it was Everybody's Talking.
Oh, everybody's talking at me.
Right.
That's what you were doing?
That's what I was doing.
Wow. I had no idea.
Only one person wrote in, and that was Pac Billy. And Pac Billy was mad. He was mad because I gave a hint. So I will give no more hints.
What was the hint,
Billy.
by the way?
Lime and the Coconut.
Oh.
Which you don't know what that is, do you? So there's a song called Lime and the Coconut that's also by Harry Nilsson.
I've heard that song.
Yeah.
With the lime and the coconut.
That's it. Yeah. He also wrote Me and My Era.
So Pac really got it and then chastised you for giving clues.
Yep, and I said, don't not feel smart. You're the only one that
get
wrote
on
in.
him.
Yep.
Right.
So no more clues.
Yeah.
All right.
That's our slogan. No clues.
No more clues. So this week, if you know the song, you can email me at john@amigospodcast.com. I want to give this my best shot. Hopefully we'll get some more.
All right, go for it.
Kate, Fox, David Pickford, Cameron Armstrong, Andy Jones, Lobs Terminator, Craig McClellan, 10-minute Amiga Retrocast, Counting Virtual Sheep, Bernard Quinn Retro, Man Cave Tim, Drew Simon, Rose Joseph Harrison, Kyle Eder, Rob O'Hara, Howard Nibbs, Matthew Larimore, Andy Craig, Shanzo, Darren Lomax, Colin 419, Bachbit Rolenberg, Andrew Bunks, Joe the Zombie, John Cook, Dan Ross, Leaf Killan, Alan Kebab, Chicote, Level Lord, John Marshall, Matthew Pirone, Ricky DeRoche, Creepy Dead Boy, Think CDZ, The Slow Norris Staff, on Sir Gordon Mortensen, Edwin Holland, Blended 75, Christopher Hassel, Ravi Abbott, Chris Falls Dreamcatcher, Lauren Giroux, Grant Vebke, Lane Denson, Adam Battersby, O'Brien's Retro and Vintage, Gary Huckasey, Brian Jones, Paul Harrington, Duncan Styles, Alan Kebab, Tapes from the Crypt, Josh Nat, Adam Bradley, Jonas Rulo, THT, Kim Tommy Humbertstadt, Daniel Bingston, Brutal Barracuda, Darren Coles, Jason Wands, Pixels at Dawn, and Kjolbjorn Barman.
Pretty good boat.
Thank you. See, you're drawing my picture over there. That's quite good. You've got the skills of an artist,
There we go.
as it were.
That's my boat picture. That's a nice. You can buy that after the show.
Yeah, that's for sale on
I'll sign it
our
for you.
swag store. Baby Cyril says, "Good effort." That's what I tell my kids all the time when they fail a playing test.
That's
it's a good effort.
that was effort. Oh man.
I efforted all over the place on that.
No. Move on.
All right. So next week, Aaron, we are going to play another point-and-click adventure game set in the far-flung future.
All right.
How do I know?
I don't know.
The name of the game is Future Wars.
Oh man, that's a depressing name too.
It is a depressing game.
How? I have played this one, so it's going back to familiar territory with this one. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that one.
Awesome,
Sounds
awesome.
good.
All right, guys, until then, keep playing the Amiga. Oh, I forgot to thank the folks in the live chat right now. We record the show every Friday, except when we don't, like today because it's Thursday.
Totally
But
right.
we still had tons of people that joined us. We want to thank, with a special thank you, Free Lunch, Mestre Guga, Fabe Cyril, Pixels at Dawn, Graham Vebke, Edvin Helland, Stefano Pavone, Phil Boz, Ricky DeRocher, Super versus Tech, Paul Bossman Harrington, Michael Ryan, and Terry Howard. Thank you so much for joining us live. It's always a party in the chat.
That's some new people we haven't seen in here before.
Absolutely.
It's a Thursday crowd. I like it.
That's right. All right, guys, we will see you next week. Until then, adios. All right.
Well, we killed that game. Listen, I had a bit of a faux pas during that episode.
Uh-oh. Did you accidentally forget what the name of the game was?
No. It was much stupider than that. That box art lecture I gave was for the other game.
Well, that's okay. No one will know. It's not as if we're not broadcasting.
So I just
live.
won't mention that during the actual game that was supposed to. I will put out an errata next week, and I'll be
Okay.
like, "Listen, what Boat did. It's his fault.
Yeah,
for making
it is
me get
all
too
my
many
fault.
shows."
Okay.
I like that. It's too bad that game was too hard.
Yeah.
Anybody beat this game? Anybody? I'm begging you. Send me video. You'll get a magnet of your choice if you can do that. I'll drive it to your house.
All right. We ready for Thanatos?
Thanatos. You ever see Xanadu?
Well, I want you to sing that when we start doing the show.
Let me get myself positioned here.
All right.
Wait.
Do I need to move this over? There we go. Now you can sit normally.
Oh, my head.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Our Sinclair. I'm John,
And I'm Aaron.
and today we're going to be talking about...
Thanatos.
You didn't sing it like I thought you were going to.
Thanatos.
Yeah.
How's
Now,
that?
what did you say that's from?
Saying it. Hold off my. Sorry. Ignore
You're
that.
hopeless.
I know.
So, Xanadu, this is the biggest flop in cinematic history?
What? Have you seen it?
No, but isn't that sort of what
Not
everybody
in
knows it
history. Are you kidding me? Not with Waterworld and stuff walking around.
as? Really?
Xanadu was awesome.
Xanadu was a musical, right?
Yeah.
It's like a musical set in like ancient...
Roller coaster. It had roller skates and stuff. At a roller coaster. It had Olivia Newton-John, I believe, was in it. Yeah, and it was good. I liked it. Had an animated section that was done by Don Bluth. I
Well,
believe.
what's the deal? You know, back in the like 80s, it was fashionable to have an animated section in your movies, I feel like.
You know, it's funny you should mention that because I'm going to actually go into a movie that was animated that reminds me of this game. What do you think about that?
I can't wait to hear about
Yeah,
it.
man. It's going to be awesome.
Do you have a favorite animated dragon? Or a real dragon?
What a question. A favorite animated dragon or real dragon? Well, there's Peach Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
There's the dragon from Dragon's Lair. He's pretty cool.
You know his name?
Singe.
Yes.
What was his name? You know, when you ask about animated dragons, I have trouble thinking of some. So what do you know?
Well, there's Bowser.
Oh, yeah. He's a dragon?
Well, he's sort of a turtle dragon.
Well, yeah, he's more like Gamera, protector of the children.
Well, he's not a protector of the children.
Well, I'm just saying, if you look at him, they clearly ripped off Gamera to make Bowser.
Does Gamer have spikes on his shell?
Yeah, sort of.
Does he breathe fire?
Yeah, sometimes.
I don't think you're thinking about the same Gamera I am.
Yeah.
I think we belong to a different church of Gamera worship.
What Gamera do you talk about? Gamera spins
Gamera
around.
spins
and,
around.
And flames come out of those little holes.
Right, but he doesn't breathe fire.
Well, I mean, that's sort
Flames
of like
come out of the
sort of
holes.
like breathing fire.
Yeah. I like the song that the kids sing when Gamera comes
Gamera, Gamera, Gamera is really neat. Gamera is full of meat. We all love you, Gamera.
Exactly.
That the one?
Yeah, that's
He's
the
full
one.
of meat.
Yeah.
That part always got me. I thought it was kind of strange.
You don't normally talk about protectors of children in such a way.
Did my kid talk? My dad's full of meat. And he described me to his friends.
Your kids, the friends are going to leave very quickly.
Yeah, that's it.
I always liked the dragon in Beauty and the Beast. I think it was not Beauty and the Beast. And by Beauty and the Beast, I mean a completely different movie, Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, do you remember the dragon that gets
don't.
fought in Sleeping Beauty? That's a real dragon.
You talk about the Disney classic?
Yeah, that's a real frightening
time.
dragon. It's scary.
Yeah.
I don't like my dragons to be sort of bumbling fools.
Like
Singe.
He's not bumbling,
he's
is he?
pretty bumbling. Smog, or as
that guy's not animated. Well, yeah, he was. Wasn't
Yeah.
he? I forgot about
with the Sherlock Holmes voice.
Yeah. There you go.
But Pete's Dragon, I don't know.
Don Bluth also animated that.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that film. How long has it been? They made a new one, you know?
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either.
That was an HBO standout back in the day when it was like when they just would bring movies directly to HBO when I was a kid. That was Pete Dragon when they were alive.
Yeah.
That appealed to the kids before the dirtier HBO fare would come on later in the evening.
That's true.
The dragons in that we can't talk about.
But we're not going to talk about those dragons or Pete's Dragon. We're only here to talk about one dragon. And that's the one on Aaron's shirt right now, brought to us
by the boss man,
Paul Harrington. Thank you for your Spectrum shirts again.
I love it.
Let's talk Thanatos, Aaron.
Outstanding. So